Welcome, everybody. This is Funded Founder Fridays. This is our very first episode in this show where we want to talk about the startup journey and have conversations with founders and investors and anybody in the ecosystem that's interested in learning about it. Um, Anything you want to say about?
Welcome everybody to first episode of the Funded Friday, and this is all about the startup journey. The journey that can be really lonely and sometimes really sad, but we're gonna talk about how we can together, come together, and make this journey more joyful and successful.
Yes. And so each episode, every month is going to have a theme. The theme for this month is community building. And every episode is going to have a different topic that includes startups. And today we'll be talking about the Valley of Death. We'll go into it later. I'm Rosalia Bañuelos. I'm the co-founder of Creatopia Inc. At Creatopia Inc., we are building safe spaces so that we can come together and co-create and see the magic that happens in co-creation, whether it's developing new products or new events or new ecosystems. That's what Creatopia is really focusing on. And Ben, who are you?
My name is Ben Keigobadi. I am a technologist by heart. I started as a technologist and then got into a startup, built few startup, failed a couple of times, and that's how you learn. And then learn how to become a VC. I was a VC, and then I had a company, Noble Innovative Solutions, which is a consulting company, and now we are building a fund and we're building this ecosystem. So we're building Noble Founder, which is our ecosystem, and we have different programs for Starbucks. We want to get to that later. And my, passion, my why for life, is to find and fund impactful ideas and initiatives. Doesn't matter. It's just for-profit, non-profit, where we can make a difference in people's life and have a better life for our children and grandchildren.
Yeah. Take care of the things that matter and keep us sustainable, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So welcome everybody. Welcome to anybody that's online. We're on YouTube and Instagram, and then also welcome to our studio audience. We'll pan to them in a little bit later. But welcome to our studio audience. You can be here in person if you're ever interested in being here in person. We're at 801 Travis on the 16th floor. You can say hi. Thanks for coming. And so let's talk a little bit about how we met and how this even
Yeah, exactly.
started happening.
So, there was this, football soccer summit, which, Rosalia was a participant in the summit and presenting Creatopia. And then I asked her, like, I wanted to see if you have any program for my son, which is really interested in video and media production. And like, do you have any internship? Do you have anything? And everything started from there. And then we had this conversation about things like, how we can make an impact, how we can solve local problems, big real problems like human trafficking, housing, rare diseases, like things that matters the most, and also entrepreneurship, because that's a big thing, and building an ecosystem. And we really clicked on co-creation, creating a safe environment, and that evolved into a lot of collaboration. And as a matter of fact, Ryan, my son, he just came here, he started working with Creatopia, and he felt really, really safe here.
Yes.
So
He's
now he's working here, I think,
Yeah.
and everything about like workforce development, community development, that's how he started. And
Yeah.
now it's becoming a big community of creators, thinkers, entrepreneurs, and people that are really building great stuff.
Yes. So Creatopia, and I've been sharing the story of how we got started a lot this week, which has been really nice. At first, I thought I was gonna be building something specific for children. So my background is in counseling. I was a mental health professional for about a decade with children and families, And so you're like, well, then why are you doing a media production company? But a lot of counseling is creating that safe space for people to be able to express. And if you think of what's the biggest fear, like public speaking, being in front of a camera, people have a lot of fear around. So I've really been able to transfer those skills so that people feel safe in front of the camera, and just feel safe speaking. But how we started was because I went down a rabbit hole of human trafficking. I did my master's in social work, and I have a daughter who's 12 years old. So for me to land in Houston and to realize that we are a major hub for human trafficking as a mama bear, I was like, what am I going to do? How am I actually going to protect her? So I researched human trafficking and ended up learning how technology is a part of it, not only how perpetrators can find victims, but also how technology as it's being implemented now and what it's doing to our youth. I mean, you hear about like the meta lawsuits that are happening because of how they've actually trained their algorithms to be addicting. There's a lot of mental health issues that are happening, but what happens for youth, if they see something before their prefrontal cortex develops, which is around 13 years old, something that's sexualized, if they see something before it develops, then their prefrontal cortex actually starts decaying, and that's your emotional regulation, your ability to make decisions, set goals. It's your personality. It's actually who you are. And I was seeing this, and that's why I thought that at first I was going to be creating something around specific for youth, like a toy or like a little AI buddy or AI companion or something. But it turned out to be more of how do we create spaces where we can continue to co-create and we can continue to tap into our childlike joy and our childlike ability to play and bring play and fun into co-creation. I really value play. I think it's very beneficial for learning, for how we can build things together. So then it turned into how can we create spaces to be
Yeah.
able to do that. And a big part of what we are doing is bringing in youth. We're gonna have a lot of like workforce development around that. So when we met, we're right in that in that point where we're like we need interns. We need to start bringing in people to help us. So it's been such an alignment to have met you.
Right.
And shout out to Ryan. He's the one that's on the camera that is going to be showing our studio audience. So shout out to Ryan and the people behind the scenes who we could not do this without. But yeah, that's just a little bit of how we got started.
Yeah.
Funded Founder Fridays is going to be on every Friday at noon. And then on the last Friday of the month, we're going to have a conversation called Founders Couch. We're actually where the audience is sitting now. We're going to sit with a couple of mentors in the ecosystem and then other founders as well. And the conversation is going to be around community building. So for our shows at noon, we'll talk about community building in different aspects and then bring in other things as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about community building?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the biggest thing about entrepreneurship and building things and startup growth is just like exactly the kids. And when you want to build things, you want to grow a startup, it's really hard. You do it yourself. So you need a community, you need an ecosystem, you need people around you. And we are on that mode, that creative mode, when you're working with others, when you have mentors around you, when you have people that you bounce ideas, that's where you are like the best. And more importantly, when you have money, you know. So this is like what we are saying. Like there are many programs out there that people come and get to those programs. At the end of the day, if you are a startup, if you don't have a community around you, if you don't have customers, if you don't have somebody to look at your startup and says, look, this opportunity like is 100 times bigger than what you think, right? And you get to that co-creation, you get to that safe place, and you're like, yeah, this is like way bigger than what I thought. And then you get introduced to really right people. get access to fund, this is where big companies were born, because you wanted to start with local companies and then see how we can help, we can find that big global unicorn potential, and how we can work together to get to that point.
Right.
And that's the power of community, right?
Right.
And we're seeing it, like in our journey, we can see how people are coming together, how people are willing to help each other, and that's the whole idea about it. And the founders couch, we're going to have a conversation with founders that are now somewhere in their journey, and we're going to create that safe space for everybody to come and have that conversation without the fear of judgment, without the fear of, oh, what happened? Are they going to, steal my idea? So that's I think that's the biggest thing, if we can achieve it together.
And just with the conversations that we've had, because I do feel that you've been mentoring me in a lot of different ways, and there's just been some conversations that have brought so much clarity and have simplified things in such a perfect way for me to understand things that I've like read about and researched and like did different classes on, but just having a 1 hour conversation
Right.
and you walking through things, the clarity that can happen.
Absolutely.
And so the topic that we want to discuss today is the Valley of Death. And for those of you that don't know about the Valley of Death, we're going to show a graph here. But it's essentially part of the startup journey, and it happens when you launch the product, but then when you're like in the midst of it, like in the it's the sleepless nights.
Yeah.
It's like when you've like bootstrapped as much as you can, you've ran out of funds, and you're like, should I even keep going? Like, is it even worth it? And I think a
Yeah.
lot of founders are in that space, and so that's even more of the importance of building the ecosystem so that we can help each other out of it and be constructive in how we actually get out of the valley of
Yeah.
death and not just get stuck there.
Isn't it, if you think about the value of death, is not just for profit, is not just for startups. If you're a founder, right? If you have this passion to create something, to solve a big problem, to make impact in people's life, it's your baby, right? And you put everything that you have. You put your every dollar, you exhaust every credit card, every resource, every loan you can take, right? And now everything is like this close to fruition, right? You like you think, oh, this is going to take off. I have this conversation with many potential customers, but the problem is when you're getting there, you don't even have money to maintain your domain, your website. You don't have
Right.
money to go out and advertise, and that's where a lot of really great ideas die. And because this is the value of death, no resources. The reason they're calling it is a value of death, because the startups are exhausting everything that they get to get there, and now they can't even move. You can't even pay your rent. I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching us, they've been like, yeah, I can remember, I was not sleeping at the middle of the night. I just woke up and I'm like, oh my God, I need to pay rent tomorrow. I need to pay for my GoDaddy account. I need to pay for my AWS, and I don't have even a dollar,
Claude.
right? To pay
The subscription.
for 10, ads that I can run and I can get,
Right.
customers.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happening even in nonprofit world, right? You're just putting your heart and soul into something that you're building. It's going to change people's life. There are rare disease, there are cancer, there are things like there are people with disability that you're cheering for them, you're advocating for them, you're fighting for them. Now you get to this really, really great solution, but no one is donating, no one is giving you money. And you're like,
Yeah.
how? And you are in the valley of death
Yeah.
the same way.
Yeah, I keep hearing that startups stay alive as long as the founder can
Can
keep
push it.
going.
Yeah.
Like as long as you don't run out of money, as long as you can keep funding it, as long as you have the energy and can like buy food and pay for and not and not have your neck pop.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
I
your
like to
hands,
like
yeah, my hands shaking. I think this is what all of us have experienced at some point. But there are ways to not to get to the valley of death. There are ways to get out of it pretty quick.
yeah.
So, and that's the whole point of having a community, having an ecosystem, having funders that they can come and they can look at it and they say, oh, yeah, I can fund this company. I can provide resources. I can provide financial resources. But the biggest problem is when people don't know where they are in the journey and who to reach to. So you are like going all acceleration programs, everything is butterflies and flowers, you are like the next big thing, and you're just emailing like 200 VCs and you don't get like even one response. And after like begging, after going and asking for introduction, someone introduced you to a VC, you get there excited, I have my pitch deck and I'm going to get this funded, and you get there and they're like, huh, you know what? I don't see opportunity here. I don't see your three statements. I don't see your financials. Is it a business? And you're like, am I talking to a banker? Oh, like I'm like
Yeah.
really passionate about it. And the guy sitting there with, like this is poker face with no passion, because VC is institutional money. It's like a banker. They need to be very cautious because they are not investing their own money. They're investing someone else's money. And that's where all the passion, everything goes out of the window. They don't look at it from a heart perspective, they're looking at it from a brain perspective.
And so you have founders that are confused in the journey, and what they need is a conversation
Exactly.
with an investor or with somebody that's exited a company or whoever. But because those people can see, I feel like because you can tell where people are in the journey, I think, as an investor
Yeah.
and as
Yeah.
somebody that's been in the space. And I think that when certain people see that somebody's just not ready, they won't give them the time of day.
No.
Like they'll just be like, not ever following up with this person again. And how many things get lost in that, right? Like how
Yeah.
many opportunities and how many different things. And that's really so that's really what we want to integrate into the ecosystem here at the Innovation Studio. Um, how we can continue those conversations and how we can actually get money to people,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Get the money from the right people, right? So you have friends and family, you have angel investors, you have early stage VCs, but you need to know where you are in the journey and who to reach to. I think that's the most important thing for people, right? If you are an early startup, you need to go to somebody that is passionate about the topic, the idea, the product as you are. If that person is as passionate as you, they're going to say, look, this is 50 grand, this is 100 grand, and I'm going to throw at this project. If I lose it, I lose it. But I'm going to like make a dent in this topic, which I'm really, really interested. So if I'm a, aviation nerd and you're building something in aviation, I'm like, okay, so that's my dream. I want to become a pilot since I was a child. So now I wanted to contribute. That's an angel investor. That's the friends and family. But even presenting to friends and family, even presenting to angel investors, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to end up with a lot of bad blood in the family, losing people's money, and that's a lot of things on your shoulder. I have done it and I've been like in all like both sides. I've been an investor, being in investment committees, seen people pitching and the VCs how they treat people, and I raised money and I lost money, and I think that's kind of like the aftermath is sometimes soul crushing. So that's where
Right?
you
Like
know yeah.
the emotional like roller
Hmm.
coaster that
Hmm.
being a founder is. And my background in mental
Oh,
health, that's why um, I really value building community and I really love it. My name, I was telling some people earlier, I'm actually a Pokemon. Roselia is actually a Pokemon. I Googled myself one time. But she's apparently in the community-driven encyclopedia for Pokemons. and and ever since, so I was in the Peace Corps after college. I did this project in undergrad called Community Funds of Knowledge. So building community is what I've been doing ever since I really started, like, got out of like high school. So finding that little Pokemon card was just, like those little signs that you get
Yeah.
from whoever that integrate everything that
Yeah.
we're doing. So that's a lot of what we're building. We want to look at the website a little bit, the
Yeah,
noblefounder.com,
yeah,
and maybe we can talk
yeah,
a little bit about
absolutely.
that.
So noblefounder.com, the idea is to build these programs and this community and ecosystem. So we are launching different programs, which they're going to be our incubation, acceleration, build, and hyper growth program. We are having we are having programs for investors as well is coming up, and Roselia is going to help leading our Houston chapter. So Roselia is the Houston chapter leader, and if we want to talk about the programs. Incubation is all about the idea. So what we're saying, we want you to go from an idea to a really fundable opportunity. So a lot of people come and say, "Oh, I have this great idea." Okay, so you need to find certain signals to validate that this idea is a fundable opportunity. So if you go in front of an investor, you're ready. You're going to tell them, "Oh, look, these are like the signals that I validated, and I know this is a fundable idea because." And when they ask you how, you have all your supporting documents, everything that you have done. So we help people come there, and then we have this local fund, which I call it like a flywheel. The idea is uh, local people are going to invest in our local fund, and of course, I'm working with people outside of Houston to bring money as well, but they invest in the fund, and then we grow the companies. The companies will become successful. They're going to hire in Houston. They're going to lift the economy. They're going to make money, and then they're going to invest. So they're going to invest in the fund. The fund is going to invest in the community, and that's a flywheel. And when the companies are ready, then we're going to graduate them into a Series A, institutional VC money. But the whole point of the program is when somebody has an idea, we validated this is a fundable idea, then we help them with the money that they need to go and build a minimum viable product to build that. And we have partners, we have people that they are really good at it. So we help them with our basically next program, which is our build. So they're going to build that, and then they're going to graduate into the next phase, which is funding and finding the customers. So we're going to help them to accelerate. We're going to find pre-seed from angel investors and our fund, and again help them to now go find like a repeatable process. And then the next step, when they find like a product market fit, that's where they're ready. They can go out and they can raise VC money. And we have VC partners. We have people that we know. They don't need to send like 1,000 emails. It's gonna be warm introductions. So if you go to the website, the whole thing is from idea to impact. We're not saying we are idea to a unicorn. We are not saying we are idea to a global company. We are saying we are idea to impact. We want to find local solutions that are really global problems. And we're going to help all the startups to look at those problems from a global lens, find global solutions, and help them to go all the way to become a unicorn. And with the companies that we have been working with, I can say there are a few really promising unicorns in formation.
Yay. I love unicorns.
Yeah, yeah. Unicorns and rainbows.
Unicorns and
But yeah,
angels. Yeah.
when just for the people that they don't know, unicorns are startups that are reaching more than $1 billion in valuation, and I think Houston is very, very well capable of producing unicorns. But I think Houston is a bit shy to showcase what we do. There are many people here, great startups doing great things. So I think we should like promote them here. I think in our next episodes we're going to promote them as well because we need to showcase the great work that is being done here.
And so here, the Innovation Studio, we are at 801 Travis, and shout out to 801 Travis and the Innovation Hub for being sponsors of this amazing space. But the big vision so we're at the Innovation Studio, we're on the 16th floor. The combination of the 16th, 17th, and 18th floor is the Innovation Hub. And we're in collaboration with Jesse Martinez, who runs Invincible Spaces on the 18th floor with that. But the vision is to turn this into the Innovation Tower and then go into the Innovation District. We're in District I. So we like to play on words with District I and being the Innovation District. Runs from City Hall to East Downtown. But that is the big vision. And integrating actual issues that are happening here in Houston. So the fact that we're 3 blocks from City Hall is very beneficial for that, and that we have connections with some council members in City Hall and are in conversation of how do we actually build innovation and solutions for problems that are happening here in Houston. So that's a big part of what we want to do here as well, integrate what's happening here in Houston and make it for Houston by Houston. That's a lot of what our shows are about and what we're doing here in this space as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Rosalia and I attended an Ed Talk in City Hall. It was for the teams from students that they came up with innovative ideas to solve local problems, and that's beautiful. And I think one of our goals is to get those students, those winning teams, to come here, and we can incubate them.
Yes.
We can find funding for them, and we get all those great ideas. So innovation should be rooted in community, and now in Houston, because we don't want people, like you have heard this a lot, that startups start here in Houston and then they unfortunately go to other cities because they don't find the resources and the money that they need. So we want to work on that. We want to solve this problem and get them what they need so they can stay, they can create jobs, they can lift the economy, and we get more startups and more people. So this is how everything ties back together. You are not, this is our message. We want you to think you're not alone in the valley of death. When you don't have any resources, just come out instead of sitting, behind the computer or, in a dark room. Just come out, reach out to the community and reach out to us, because that's what we want to do. We want to help each other to get out of the valley of death and thrive and strive together.
Yes, we'll be having a lot of different events. We'll have a calendar of events sometime soon. But we will have open houses. We want to do game nights for founders and other types of fun events. We're actually going to launch a fundraiser where we will be raising fun and funds at the same time. But with it, we really, again, want to bring in the spirit of creativity and fun and play and how all of that integrates into innovation, and how being able to play and co-create with other people is really crucial to innovation. As Creatopia, we do believe that there's always going to be conflict, and there's always going to be problems, and there's always, when a lot of people come together, that's bound to happen. And so how do we maintain a mindset where we're playing, and so we're not taking things offensively, we're able to shift, like kids, when they're like, they get mad at each other, and then they're like 5 minutes later they're playing again. And like 5 minutes ago they hated each other. How do we do that, right? And how do we build actual solutions that can stay here in Houston? So that's kind of all that we had for today. We do have our in studio audience. This is when y'all get to participate for those who want to participate. There's a microphone on the table. And we just want to give them a moment to either, if you have any questions, we do have a question of the day. If you've ever been in the Valley of Death or have a comment or have a story around that, or have anything you want to say, any clarifying questions that you want to ask, this is the time to do that. Or if you just have a question about anything else, this is the time. Welcome to our studio audience, and for the first time that we're doing this is great.
Yeah.
I can't see that many people because the lights are in my eyes, but we have a great turnout. Thank you all for coming.
All right. So I'm Deji. I'm the founder of Oya, a creator marketing platform for brands. And the challenge I have right now is finding brands as customers in the Houston ecosystem. So how should I be going about that? Looking for B2C businesses that use influencer marketing that need help to manage their influencer programs, where we can either manage it for them or they can use our software to manage their so definitely in the Valley of Death.
So you're looking for customers, is what I understand?
Yes.
Okay.
So what does the ecosystem have in helping connect startups to businesses for those kind of opportunities?
Well, that's what we're building here in the ecosystem. That's why, I mean, this is our first show. We've been in this space for about 2 months. But that is why we want to build a list of startups and get as many founders and people here so that we can all connect. And our vision is to go viral. We want to go viral so that we can really shift the market, right? Because when you're telling the story and when you're out there and you're going viral, that does something to the market. So that's why we really want to integrate media and technology and live shows ongoing and always, so that we can tap into that narrative and shift the market.
And like there are many companies here, so there are actually, when we think about the ecosystem, we're working with media companies, we're working with small and big companies, and we're gonna launch our platform very soon, so you can find those companies. So we have companies that are actually working with the influencers. There are startups, there are bigger companies, there are brands that are working with the influencers, and this is their challenge, because how do you measure that? Like, how do you handle that? How do you really manage your talents and influencers? So when you join, then when we have those events, it could be private events, it could be some introductions. That's where, that's what we do. Basically, you are bringing a valuable benefit into the ecosystem, and now we're going to introduce you to the people that they really need that value that you're bringing. So that's the power of ecosystem. So just, to answer your question, today is our official launch. Mm-hmm. So, and you're going to join, and then from next week, we're going to connect you to the people that they can help you to find your first customers.
Mm-hmm. And build it together. And then,
yep.
and hopefully you can be part of somebody's tech stack, right? Like a company's tech mm-hmm. stack. We've been talking about how we can, how there's mm-hmm. a lot of different companies already, or startups already in the ecosystem that can do fractional work for companies. Yep. And so how can we put, maybe there's like a fractional marketing officer and financial officer and mm-hmm. technical officer that everybody needs, like all of these startups absolutely. Need. So how do we package that together for people that need specific services?
And that's, what we call it, like a white label menu. So for the ecosystem, we are building a white label menu, which means, so we're putting everybody's capabilities and offering into one big giant menu. So when we go to people, when we bring enterprise here, because we are working with different groups, so when we talk to enterprise, we offer them this big menu of white label services, fractional services, technologies that can be offered to them, and they can say, oh yeah, as an enterprise, I need this service and product.
Thank you for the question. Hey, Joseph. Joseph's leading our. Wait, hold on. Let us get you on camera. Right here.
Can I? Should. Hey, yeah. So I'm leading the founders couch. So I'm leading the founders couch on Friday, and I enjoyed being here. I enjoyed listening to you guys. One of the questions I had. So I have a startup called Next Shift IQ. It's a career recruitment platform. The goal is looking at the current job market and seeing how companies are a little hesitant to hire. I want to design a platform that plans ahead, so we know when quantum computing. Sorry if my voice is shaky. We know when quantum computing is coming out and how to plan for it. One of the difficulties I'm having is companies are not hiring, and that's the biggest issue. For whatever reasons, either they're scared that their next hire does not understand AI, or they're scared of the market. So clearly, I mean a valley of death. I don't know. Stage fright gets my nerves shaking. But what can I do to get out of the valley of death? What are some practical things that you think a company like that could do to get out of the valley of death? Does that make sense?
Something that I saw. Can you pull up the graph again, Benjamin, please? You see, so where you see the valley of death, where it says pivot and adjust. I think it's for us anyway. It's been really important to know when we have to pivot and adjust, because I think what I see a lot is that people have an idea and they're like, I'm gonna make this idea work no matter what, and don't really take into account what's happening in the market or like how things are shifting. So like you were saying, Joseph, that companies aren't hiring. So why are they not hiring? And what else do you maybe need to look at and pivot within the company to restructure what your service still is, but taking into account the fact that companies aren't hiring. That's just something that from experience I know we've had to do. And we've had to pivot and adjust depending on the feedback that we're getting from our market.
And like there is a concept of 0 to 1 customers, right? In your industry, in your startup, the biggest thing for you is to identify 5 people that you know, or somebody in your network know, that you can go to them, somebody that is safe to have this conversation. The problem with cold call is you're just sending an email to the person, and that person doesn't know you, and you're a small company. And for anybody that work for enterprise, I work for enterprise, and we were just like, yeah, you're a good company, but you're too small, right? So it's just you need to start thinking about the playing field that you wanted to enter, right? And when we are talking about 0 to 1. It means let's just list 5 people that you know, or let's just reach out to your community. So people are hiring. It's not like the hiring has stopped. But the problem is the person that is hiring is gonna trust you and your system. So basically, if you can go and show them, and I think you and I, we had like this conversation before, if you can just go and scrape like all the jobs and just go to them and say, look, you have these jobs, I have this, and launch your product, because what you're doing is more like it could be a platform, and show them like this is how my product is better. But just imagine if you're a part of an ecosystem and you get to the person by warm introduction. So you get to that 5 first customers by warm introduction instead of cold call. Then, people said, hey, Mr. Hiring Manager, I know Joseph. I think he's doing really cool. Do you want to take a look? Do you want to give him a shot? And they're like, oh, I don't know, like this is a new company. No, no, we have been working with him. Like he's a part of the community, he's a part of the product, and this, cohort, and he has been doing this for a few other startups. The results have been really amazing. Do you want to, just give it a shot? This is the kind of like the idea of a lot of other places that they have like these strong ecosystems. You get your first customers, either someone that you know or someone that you can get warm introductions.
Yeah, I think a lot of our first customers were referrals, and a lot of word of mouth, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a lot of people vouching for you, and again, that's when you think of like ecosystem building and community building, there is so much trust that is needed to build communities, and what does it take to really
Build
build
that.
trust,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love how like people say that it's not what you know, but who you know, and
Mm-hmm.
then how well you know them, because that's how you build trust, right? And so like really stepping into networking and stepping into ecosystems and stepping and speaking to people that can put you in spaces is really magical.
Yeah, and
It's like
you see like here all these stories that person just wrote, like they went to these job boards and they just get the job description, put it on AI, and they just tailor the resume. And even sometimes they are like on different screens, working with Claude to answer the questions. So what you're tackling is a big problem, becoming a big problem for many big enterprises. But the problem is you need to slowly get into the market. Start very slow, and that's where you need to look at your what is my, they call it like beachhead market, the smallest market that you can go, and it starts with give me 5 people that that you can personally go to them and tell them, hey buddy, can you help me? Or you have people that they know 5 people that they can say, hey buddy, can you work with Joseph? That's, I think, where a lot of people hang up, because I don't know anybody, or I'm just trying to cold call and no one is picking up.
right, right. That's just exhausting.
Yeah,
I've always
it
hated the
is.
cold calling.
Hmm.
Do you have any more questions or any more comments from the audience? No.
All
Can we
right.
just can we just pan to the audience to see who's all here? Say hi. Who's out? Who's in the back?
We got some people hiding back there. So my name is Joseph Bankole. I'm gonna be hosting or leading, not hosting, but leading the Founders Couch, which is, as they mentioned, the 31st of July is our first launch. So it's good to have everybody. Yeah, thank you. So it was good to see this. It was good to. It was definitely an enjoyable session. As Roselia and Ben were talking, I was at the back texting all my friends like, "You gotta check this out." So it's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm Deji. I was CMO for a venture-backed startup for 4 years, and prior to that, I worked at Procter and Gamble launching products on Tide. So, and I have a platform for influencer marketing where help businesses manage their influencers or give them the software to run their influencer program as well. And then, as because of all my experience working with venture-backed startup, I also work with founders and startup teams on marketing and go-to-market as well.
Awesome, awesome. My name is Mason. Um, Last 7 years, I was working on a project called FDM. FDM it stands for Financial Technology and Mentorship. So we mentoring people about financial services. People, I believe, when I came to America, I find out most of people they don't understand about financial. Why? Because I failed and I lost around $85,000 in business, and I got homeless in the state of California. So that's why everything starts from there. Um, and I find out people they need to learn about financial. They need to learn about how tax works, how social security works, how insurance, how bank works, how real estate industry
Let's go here,
works.
CFO.
where people can put their money and grow up fast, and how people can save money. Nobody teach those things. Nobody. In the school, they teach business money management, not personal money management. So that's why that was the idea. So last seven years, I was working so hard on that. So we are starting very hard. Uh, we are getting up. We are growing company.
Is
Yeah.
that what FTM stands
Yes,
for? Okay.
FTM is Financial Technology Mentorship.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're mentoring people about what they need to do. It's a mentorship, business mentorship, entrepreneurship, those stuff.
You spent the last 7 years building.
Yeah, last 7 years. So I take care of over 2,000 agents in the state of California, Florida, Texas. So last year we did $22 million production. Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Nafi, and I'm a realtor. And I started like 3 years ago, and actually I'm new in the market, but I'm trying to find my market and working on that. Yeah, I'm really happy over here and see Ben. Very glad you, and I hope to see you next time again.
Hello everyone, I'm Arezu. I do the business services. Okay.
Who are the people in the back? Hiding there.
My name is Larry, and I am partnered with Apollo and co-founder of a foundational AI platform. One of the most important things that has been touched on with this meeting and others is the education level. People don't know enough about what's coming. They don't know enough about how they can be involved, and the market scares people. And what we're trying to do is make it easier for everybody to get a benefit, have a benefit from what AI can really truly bring. We have got a lot of products in the pipeline. We've got a lot of development, and without being too technical about it, we are still learning, and that's why we're here, learning to get help the way we need.
Awesome.
Oh, too close to something. All right, I'll stand over here. So hi, I'm Kenneth Benavides. I work with Ben and others, part of the ecosystem. So I work in a fractional capacity. So I work with Iron Grove and others, mainly on the technology and operations side, and been doing that for, I won't date myself, so I'll just say I've been doing it for a while in various roles, from executive and now moving into founder and startup role. So if you need help, just give me a holler. Everything's always free, so thanks.
Good afternoon. I'm Trent Kirksey, the founder of Veil Technologies. We developed the Veil app, which is a marketplace for nightlife, experiential travel, and luxury hospitality. And so here in Houston, we know that there had been a season of becoming a major nightlife location, and our organizations and local restaurants kind of focused on nightlife. And then there became a gap between the consumer and the ownership because the promoters didn't have the infrastructure to manage the relationships with customers spending $2,000 and $10,000 for a weekend experience. And then there just became an issue with fraud in the space. And so we've built infrastructure that is going to provide an operating system for the clubs and luxury experiential experiences, for the management to operate, and for customers to be able to have a trust and safety layer in their ability to celebrate. You talked about education. We also have an education component, right? It's called Consume the World. At the beginning of the show, there were notes about how digital media drives engagement, and so we thought about that same thing. And so we've integrated a podcast series and a series of kind of informational articles that could offer people understanding into things like what types of whiskey exist, and history of jazz, or the history of different kinds of music in different places and its influence on nightlife and experiences. in those regions. And so super excited to be a part of this ecosystem. We are a marketplace for nightlife and hospitality, but that extends into everybody's everything, right? Because you all get on a plane or rent a car or stay in a hotel. So Vail looks forward to serving everybody in whatever way we can.
How's that? How's the light looking on me? Okay, awesome. Hey everyone, I'm Shaka. I'm the founder of the Houston Board of Food Security. What that is an organization here in the city that works on localizing food production. Of course, we all know that Cisco is consumed about 95% of the overall space in which food is consumed at restaurants, and of course, we have our issues with store-bought grocery chains. We're looking at gathering our local resources, building up the infrastructure, and being able to offer more local foods. One of the ways that we are building infrastructure in the city is through content marketing. We've recently partnered up with Behind the Tiger at TSU that allows us to actually work with the academic department, the football team, the soccer teams, et cetera, and being able to not only give the students an outlet for their early D1 college careers, but also provide a platform in which small businesses, farmers, value-added producers can begin to have an easier way, a more local way of marketing their products. One such case is a drink company that we're working with that is approaching those steps of actually being able to secure a contract with a college in order to produce a branded drink for that for TSU College. So it's simple things like that that allows for locally grown foods to grab a foothold and be able to actually start competing again with the likes of big distributors like Cisco.
That's great. Well, thank you, everybody, for introducing yourselves. For the first time that we did this is a great turnout. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Shout out
coming.
to Ken from Iron Grove. They're helping us with our website and all sorts of technical things. And like Joseph said, the Founders Couch is the last Friday of every month, and it's going to be from 1 to 3. So right after we finish our Funded Founder Friday, that last Friday of the month. Try saying that 3 times fast. And we just want to, again, shout out to 801 Travis and the Innovation Hub for being sponsors of this space. And thank you all for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, our programs, we're piloting programs with a few startups right now, and the application is not available on the website yet, but we are working on getting the application on the website. The goal is to have the second cohort started by end of the month. So the first cohort is already, we have startups, and we have a lot more exciting news coming. And just keep in mind, we are here. Our goal is to bring founders, funders, and other resources and the community together. So you become a funded founder, not only on Fridays, every day of the week.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, again. And we'll see you next Friday at noon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.